Good evening. Welcome to Source 16 News at 10. In his fourth State of the Commonwealth address today, Governor Steve Beshear told lawmakers that responsible fiscal management, including holding the line against broad-based taxes and slashing more than $1 billion from the state budget, has enabled Kentucky to preserve core priorities and begin to recover from the global recession. At the same time, he added that aggressive job creation efforts led to the creation and retention of thousands of jobs in every corner of the state. Governor Beshear also discussed the following important legislative items for the 2011 legislative session: increasing high school graduation by raising the dropout age to 18, addressing short-term and long-term Medicaid issues, reducing barriers to Kentucky businesses, and protecting seniors. Finally, he paid tribute to Kentucky's men and women serving in active duty military and the Kentucky National Guard, both overseas and here at home, as well as their families. Meanwhile, House Republican floor leader, 83rd District State Representative Jeff Hoover of Jamestown gave his reaction to the State of the Commonwealth address.
I thought the governor did a pretty good job of outlining where we are in this state, outlining some of the actions that we in the General Assembly, working with the governor, have taken, some of the issues that we've been facing, some of the decisions that we've made. I thought he did a good job of outlining those, and he was very positive, even though he said we've got lots of work to do, we've got a long way to go on a lot of issues. He was cautiously optimistic, I think, about working together, being unified, toning down the political rhetoric.
The State of the Commonwealth address took place in the chambers at the Kentucky House of Representatives in Frankfort. During tonight's regular Hopkinsville City Council meeting, council members received an audit report on the city's finances. Certified public accountant John DeAngelis of Hopkinsville compared the city's assets to other area cities.
Particularly looking at cash versus your annual budget, maybe your long-term debt, some of those things. Madisonville as a percentage cash to their annual activity, you were in better shape than me. You were about the same as Henderson. Madisonville doesn't have as much long-term debt. Paducah, you were doing better than them as far as your general fund cash, but Paducah has more special project cash stashed away.
Meanwhile, DeAngelis went into further detail about the city expenses.
For revenues, your tax revenues, tax and license revenues increased maybe 1% over the year before. Unfortunately, your health insurance fund did not go down much. Police and fire pension funding was up, but in the expenses, what we saw was police pension funding was 20% higher than the year before. We saw public works, some various public works expenses were actually down.
In other business, Mayor Kemp announced the city was awarded a U.S. Department of Homeland Security grant.
FEMA Region 4 has awarded us a grant for generators to be installed at the municipal building and the Hopkinsville Police Department and the Emergency Communications Center and the Hopkinsville Fire Department.
Meanwhile, during the mayor's comments, Kemp spoke about the city's bird problem and how McGee Pest Control is using noise-making devices to disperse the large population of birds. City Council then went into closed session to discuss pending and proposed litigation and property acquisition and took no action. The National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a wind advisory in effect until tomorrow afternoon at 3. That means we could see wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour overnight, which could also make driving difficult around the area, especially for high-profile vehicles such as trucks, motorhomes, vehicles pulling trailers, and SUVs. Source 16 meteorologist David Bryant will have complete details of what we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Over 900 Fort Campbell troops are scheduled to return home this week from their year-long deployment from Afghanistan. According to post officials, 3 welcome home ceremonies are scheduled for Thursday to honor soldiers assigned to the 3rd Brigade Combat Team and from the 101st Combat Aviation Regiment. In addition, 2 more flights are scheduled to come home Saturday, with more walk-assigns from their deployments. Meanwhile, Fort Campbell officials say returning flights scheduled for Thursday and Saturday may change. For any last-minute flight changes, check out Fort Campbell's website, campbell.army.mil. Go to the Families category and click on Welcome Home Ceremonies. The Western Kentucky Regional Blood Center needs your help. Due to the widespread weather cancellations, there is a national as well as local low blood supply.
Well, when the weather's bad, they can't get out and give, and then our blood drives will shut down, so therefore we don't have the blood that we would have gotten at the blood drives. So we're trying to get people to come in the office on the days that we're here so we can, pick up our blood supply.
The Western Kentucky Regional Blood Center supplies 6 hospitals in Western Kentucky, including Caldwell and Crittenden County hospitals. To donate blood, you can schedule an appointment or find out the next blood drive and hours by calling the Hopkinsville Center at 885-0728. An alleged Clarksville robber has been arrested and booked into the Montgomery County Jail. According to police, 25-year-old John Cunningham of Shearer Street was serving a 13-year community correction probation sentence when he brutally robbed a 42-year-old man in Lincoln Homes. Police say on January 26, the victim told police he was giving an old acquaintance, who was later identified as Cunningham, a ride to Lincoln Homes when he pulled out a pistol and demanded the victim's car and told him to pull into a parking lot. When the man tried to run, Cunningham allegedly hit the man on the head with a pistol, while another unknown man struck him in the head with what he believed was a sticker pipe. Cunningham is charged with aggravated burglary and is in jail on a $50,000 bond. Kentucky State Police are asking for the public's help in locating a jail escapee. Police report Jeffrey Leon Flowers walked away from a work detail with the Fulton City Public Works Department this morning around 7:30. Flowers was in jail in Fulton County for theft charges. Anyone having contact with Flowers should not approach or attempt to apprehend him, but instead contact Kentucky State Police at 1-800-222-5555. A traffic safety checkpoint on US 62 at the Hopkins-Muhlenberg County line last night netted the arrest of 2 Central City men on felony drug charges. According to Kentucky State Police, a trooper observed open alcoholic beverage containers and prescription pills inside a vehicle stopped at the traffic safety checkpoint around 6:30. Police say 33-year-old Scott Cobb possessed marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and several types of pills, including oxycodone, hydrocodone, suboxone, and trazodone, and 52-year-old Kenneth Geddes was in possession of oxycodone pills. Cobb was charged with first and second-degree possession of a controlled substance, illegal possession of a legend drug, possession of marijuana and paraphernalia, and prescription-controlled substance not in proper container. Geddes was charged with possession of an open alcoholic beverage container in a motor vehicle, possession of a controlled substance, and prescription-controlled substance not in proper container. Both men were booked into the Hopkins County Detention Center. Meanwhile, a routine traffic stop in Hopkins County landed a Madisonville man behind bars after a short police pursuit near Morton's Gap this morning. Around 10:20, Kentucky State Police pulled over 42-year-old Jeffrey Howard for a traffic violation on White City Road east of Morton's Gap. After receiving consent to search Howard's vehicle and asking him to get out, police say he got back into his vehicle and fled from the scene. Troopers pursued Howard for a short distance on White City Road until he stopped his vehicle. Howard was arrested without further incident and is charged with first-degree wanton endangerment of a police officer, first-degree fleeing, evading police in a motor vehicle, and careless driving. He was booked into the Hopkins County Detention Center. The district attorney's office is now trying to decide whether or not to upgrade the charges against a Fort Campbell soldier who they say hit a vehicle in July driven by an Elkton woman who recently died. According to 25-year-old Joseph Pergram's indictment, on July 7th, he was driving his SUV on U.S. Highway 79 when he crossed the center line and struck a vehicle driven by 47-year-old Lori Ann Stokes Teague. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies found Pergram in some nearby woods over an hour later after he fled the scene of the crash. Pergram, who already has a DUI conviction from 2009, is charged with second-degree DUI, reckless endangerment, vehicular assault, and leaving the scene of an accident. Replacement of 3 ailing bridges on Kentucky 139 in northern Caldwell County are ready for bidding this month. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet spokesman Keith Todd says engineers have been working to expedite the construction process since a failed pier closed the main Donaldson Creek Bridge on Kentucky 139 just south of the Creswell community on August 23rd of last year. According to Todd, all 3 bridges were restricted to a 15-ton load limit and already scheduled for replacement later this year. However, once highway engineers determined repairing the damaged bridge was not practical, they expedited the design and engineer work required to replace the structures. District 2 Chief Engineer Kevin McClern says once bids are received, every effort will be made to award a contract and get the winning contractor on site as quickly as possible. According to McClern, a February bid date will mean construction could begin in March or April and likely would take 7 to 8 months to complete. All 3 bridges are on Kentucky 139 near mile point 20, just north of Kentucky 70 in Caldwell County. Well, nearly 2,000 copies of a New York Times bestseller featuring the war memoirs of a former World War II 101st Airborne Division major were recently distributed to Fort Campbell's 4th Brigade Combat Team in Afghanistan. According to military officials, Beyond Band of Brothers documents the memories of former 3rd Commanding Officer of Easy Company and was co-written by retired Colonel Cole Kingseed. In addition to the book, soldiers received letters written by Winters, who recently passed away, and Kingseed. Officials say the original plan was for the soldiers to receive the books during the holidays, but wintry weather delayed the shipping process. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $91 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $35 million.